What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Your Ex Drinking Buddy with me, your host, Brennan Tassif. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Check us out on YouTube. Full video available there. Check out the merch store. Look at all this stuff. We got all this stuff on the merch store. It's all available on the website, brennantcomedy.com. You can also get my tour dates there. Every show that I have coming up, I'm going to be in New York, traveling the country, doing a bunch of gigs. So check it out. Get tickets at brennantcomedy.com. Check out the merch store. And lastly, if you really want to support, go to www.patreon.com/BrennanTComedy. And that is where you can find Tales from the Restaurant, where I divulge everything about the celebrities I wait on. And also a little bit of behind the scenes. You'll also get the episodes early, a bunch of bonus episodes. Check it all out. Thank you so much. Enjoy the episode.
Grab me a beer and grab him a coke. We bout to sit for an hour, bullshit and tell jokes. And please don't mix it up, cause he done sobered up. Brennan T Comedy on your social media feeds. And Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy. Brennan Tassif is your ex drinking buddy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Your Ex Drinking Buddy. I am your host, Brennan Tassif. If you're new to the program, quick rundown of the show. I used to be everyone's favorite drinking buddy. This is my favorite thing to do. Hang out with friends, get drunk, do drugs, get in all sorts of trouble, and then reminisce about those crazy stories. I am sober now, but it's still one of my favorite things to do. Hang out with somebody and reminisce about the crazy old days.
Hell yeah.
Most weeks I will be joined by guests. This week is no exception. All the way from New York City, Kieran Minihan.
All the way from New York City, baby. All the
up,
way
dude?
from outside.
What's up?
Just chilling, dude.
Before
Chilling.
we get too far
Thanks
into
for having
anything,
me.
Of course. Plug everything up front. Social media, anything you got coming out.
All right.
Let everybody know where they can find you.
Yeah, you know what? I just started posting kind of daily recently, but it's Kieran_laughs on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, X, all the same.
All the same.
That's it, man.
Kieran
yeah.
_laughs.
Kieran_laughs.
I want to get into it because you and we met at Greenwich Village Comedy Club.
Yes.
You do comedy. You're a
I do.
comedian.
I do.
But also, you're a chef.
That's right.
You've been a chef for a very long time.
I've been a chef for 15 years. I just came from work.
Yeah.
I just came from the kitchen. My heart is still pounding, dude.
Well, also, our elevator's out, so you had to walk up 6 flights of stairs.
Yeah, exactly.
So I want to talk to you about this because I, as the listeners know, have worked in restaurants for 20 years. It's what I do to supplement my income. So I've worked with all various types, from like, the crazy psycho chefs to like the really calm Zen kind of Buddhist chefs. How did you get into...
You know the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How did
yeah.
you get into the kitchen? I want to talk about that because I love having people on who are creatives, whether it's comedy, which is the main thing, but actors, musicians, chefs.
Sure.
Because there's a lot of art to the culinary, aptitude.
Yeah, which is actually none of the reason I got into the kitchen. There's no art involved. Like I started work when I was 16 as like I got a paper route, and
Yeah.
I didn't used to do that properly. I used to throw all the papers in the trash and pretend I did it and get paid for it. And then when I was 18, I started bartending, and I did bartending.
Did you really do that?
Yeah. That's what me and all my buddies did. None of us delivered the papers, and they never checked. We used to just throw them all in the skip and then get paid for it.
Yeah, but wasn't so... Oh, yeah, let's not... You're not from the United States.
I'm from England, yeah. So
when you said threw him in the skip, I was
yeah,
like,
yeah. The
let's
skip
clarify.
is the big garbage can in England that's on the street.
Where
I
are you
grew
from
up
in England?
So I grew up in southwest London in England, which is like... Yeah, exactly. So Teddington, Twickenham, Kingston... For all your viewers, basically exactly where Ted Lasso is filmed.
Okay.
Which is Richmond.
Yeah.
That area is where I grew up.
Okay.
Yeah, so I lived there for 25 years.
Who's your team in the
Arsenal.
Prem? Footy. Oh.
Arsenal. Yeah.
This is a Fulham house.
Okay, well, that's even closer to where I grew up.
Yeah, I know. That's
yeah,
why I asked.
Yeah. All my friends were either Fulham or Chelsea or Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, anyway, I was bartending. So, I was just a piece of shit, basically. Bartending.
Are you in university at this point when you started
I went to
bartending?
university for sports science,
Okay.
but, just did drugs and
Got it.
try to get laid, like
Yeah,
everybody
of course.
else. What else you do at university?
That's what it's for.
Somehow passed. I don't know.
Oh, you did?
I passed, but yeah, I got like the bare minimum.
Yeah. So I just want to track for the listeners. So 16 paper route.
Yeah.
Then 18 you become a bartender.
Yeah.
And you do that while you're at university? You just kind of bartend
I did that
the
while
whole
I was
thing?
at university,
Okay.
yeah, on and off.
Okay.
While I was at university. And then, like, when I finished university, I went back to bartending. And then when I was 26, I was off work from the bar, but I went in to drink in that bar.
Yeah.
Right? And I was hammered. I went behind the bar, I was pouring myself drinks.
This is a no-no.
A bit of a no-no. I started a fight with a customer.
At the bar you work at.
At the bar I worked at. And I tried hooking up with this girl who was also off duty, but like in the bar drinking that night.
Yeah.
And she was having none of it. And I think I called her a lesbian or something like that because she wouldn't hook up with me. And she ended up punching me in the face.
Okay.
And it was a big thing. I walked in the next day. They were like, "You're fired." I was like, "Okay, I get it."
So just to set the scene, you're 26 at this point.
I'm 26.
You're working at this bar.
I'm working at this bar.
And you're just like, hey, we're having a good time bartending. And then you're like, you know what? I'm off tonight. I'm going to go into the bar, like pour myself, get some free drinks.
Yeah, cause some shit.
And did you go in with the expectation of like mayhem? Were you like, oh,
no, that was just kind of like the regular. It was one of those days. You know what I mean?
Well, it's like that scene in Step Brothers with Will Ferrell where they walk in for the job interview and they're like, we're here to fuck shit up.
We're here to fuck shit up. Yeah. I think I'd had a few before I went into that bar anyway, like at home, whatever. So I went in there, went causing trouble. Tried to hook up with this girl. She said she was like, fuck off. I called her a lesbian. She said to me, she goes, "You're just a 26-year-old loser who works in a bar and tries to fuck every girl who comes in here." And I was like, fuck you and all this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Went home, went to sleep.
She punched you in the face.
It punched me in the face. We had to get I dragged apart. I went home, went to sleep, woke up the next morning, went into the bathroom, looked in the bathroom mirror, and I was like, Kieran, that lesbian was right. You know what I mean? I had nothing. I had achieved nothing. And so I walked into this restaurant at the end of my road. It's just a French restaurant. It's like a 2 rosette star, if you know British culture or British restaurant scene. It's kind of whatever. But
is it a fancy restaurant?
It's a half-decent restaurant.
Okay.
It's a half-decent restaurant.
Because I know chefs do this a lot. I don't want you to be like, yeah, I was like just fucking working in the kitchen. Like, if it's a good restaurant, let the listeners know because some of them aren't going to understand. Cause,
it was all right.
Okay. Because
it was better than average.
Yeah. I've like, even my brother-in-law is an executive chef, and I'll be like, yeah, you're a chef. And he's like, not really. I go, you were the executive sous for Emerald. Like, you're a chef. And he's like,
that's legit. That's legit.
Because what he does now is way different than
well,
that.
It depends where, because Emerald went he franchised, didn't he?
Yeah,
so he could have been in one of his bullshit.
That's true.
And then it's not legit.
He was not in one of those.
Okay.
He was in one that Emerald
so
was at.
I changed my answer then. It was not legit.
Yeah. No, it was legit. It was at one of the ones that Emerald was at.
Like his flagships down in New Orleans. Yeah. Yeah. So and then so I went into this French restaurant at the end of the road and I was like, yo, can I work for minimum wage? And the guy was like, yeah, the sous chef quit yesterday. You can take his job.
Oh, really? No experience?
No experience.
Back of house or anything?
The guy was cool. He was really good. He had worked for Marco Pierre White.
Okay.
But he was, he was done with the game. He was just kind of just like getting by in this restaurant. Didn't really give a shit.
I'm curious. I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm curious about this because I understand how those interactions go. Working in a restaurant, we see people come in all the time looking for a job. Did you go in like hat in hand, like I'll do anything, like I just need a job? Or did you go in being like,
I just said, look, pay me the minimum. I just need to learn how to cook.
Okay.
Because I had, all right, so basically.
So you said I need to, like you had that mentality.
I wanted to learn how to cook. Yeah, so I wasn't just looking for any job. I remember when I was like very, very young, I think I was like 9, and I was playing basketball in the front garden, and a thought just came to me, I would like to be a chef one day.
Okay.
And then I just locked that thought away forever, and I never thought about it again. And then when this girl called me a fucking loser, that thought came into my head.
Well, that is a huge thing to think like. Because we have people who come in all the time who are like, I just need a job. And we're like, oh, like we can't help you with that. Because like the place I work now is like a high-end place. So it's like, I can't, like if you want to start in dish, like, okay, maybe. But if someone comes in and they go, I want to learn how to do this, that is a totally different set of circumstances.
Yeah, I've never actually thought of it like that.
Yeah, because you kind of gloss over it like, yeah, I just walked in and asked for a job and they gave me a job. But it's like, I've been in those environments and it's like, people walk in all the time, and you're like, no, sorry, I can't.
No, it's
help
very
you.
much like I need to learn this skill to get to like the next chapter in life.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, Tracy's home. Tracy, Kieran, Tracy.
Hey, Tracy, how's it going? Yeah,
Yeah.
the stairs, right?
Not a good time to leave, carry a baby.
Right.
We're leaving all this in, by the way. Hey, babe, how are you? Yeah, I know. Tracy's not having a great go of it. You don't want to be on the podcast? Come on. So I'm very curious. So you go in, you say, I want to learn how to cook.
Yes.
And then he's like, perfect. Does he pay you the minimum or does he actually give you like sous chef money?
I'm not getting paid sous chef money.
That's also funny too. So for those of you who are uninitiated, the sous chef is like the second in command. You're like the number 2 to the CDC, the chef de cuisine, or the executive chef, depending on the restaurant. So you go in and that's like a big spot to fill.
Yeah, but I was not doing a good job.
Yeah.
So they were getting their money.
You don't know what you're doing.
I have no idea what I was doing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So take us through it. So you get in there, and then do you fall in love with it? Or are you like, this is the thing I want to do?
Totally fall in love with it.
Okay.
Yeah, totally fall in love with it. You know, you can turn up fucked up, hungover. You can say whatever.
And you're still partying at this point.
Big time.
Okay, so the woman punching you, the lesbian punching you in the face didn't
Yeah.
change your outlook on...
Absolutely not. No. Oh, we're still going to be a
I'll
loser in
switch
some capacity.
jobs,
Yeah.
but
No,
I'm still getting after
Oh, yeah. I hadn't even began yet. Yeah. We're just getting warmed up. And then, so...
That's also very hilarious that, like, she called you a loser and punched you in the face, and your first thought isn't like, I should probably stop drinking so much. It's like, I'm going to get a different job.
Yeah. Well, I knew that stopping drinking was not possible at that stage. Yeah, man. So started working in the kitchen. Fell in love with it straight away. The partying continued. All the cooks were basically buying drugs off of my little brother within weeks. And we lived just around the corner. We lived just down the road. So like it was like my neighborhood, basically.
So I want you to take us through, because this is something that always fascinates me, because I've always worked... Not always. I've worked mainly in the front of house.
Yeah.
I've always been front facing. I have sued a couple times, like at smaller restaurants where like I knew the executive chef, and he was like, I know you're a hard worker. I know you actually care about what we're putting out. So come to the kitchen. I'll pay you more. It's not going to be as much as you make as a server.
I thought you meant you sued.
No. Like I was a
I
sous
did sue
chef.
them a couple of times.
No. I was a sous chef
Yeah.
For a couple years, which is where I learned so much in the kitchen. Because you learn fat because you have to.
You have to, yeah.
But for you, what is that like? Because this always fascinates me. The disparity in wages between the front and the back is astronomical. And it's one of those things where it's like the people in the back work there either because they have to, because that's the only job they could get, or because they absolutely love it. Whereas the people in the front, it's like a turnstile. People are coming and going constantly.
Right.
So for you to be in that environment, and as you said, you started to fall in love with it, were you like, oh, this is like the heat and the pressure and everything that's going on? Were you like, oh, this is my thing now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because it takes a certain kind, like same thing with comedy. It takes a certain kind of like fucked up person to be like, oh, I love this.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's ironic because when I first started cooking, I used to have dreams that like all the nightmares of like not being ready for a test and I have to get skilled at this and get skilled at that and I'm not going to be ready for like life went away. And I was like, this is it. I can carry this skill anywhere in the world. Mm-hmm. I just need to get good enough at it so anyone will hire me, and eventually I'll make some money in it.
Yeah.
Now, as time went on, that thought turned into the opposite.
Yeah.
It was like, oh fuck, I'm trapped in this fucking business,
only
and I
do
don't
this.
know, and I can
Yeah.
only do this, and it totally fucking flipped.
That's
on itself.
actually fascinating because that is so true. Where I'm the same thing with serving is. Like, I'm very, very good at it, and I've gotten to a point now where I wait on, like I say all the time, and I've talked to you about this, like, I wait on Academy Award winners and Tony winners and Grammy winners and princes and, politicians. Like, when we get, like, a big person that comes in the restaurant, a lot of times it's like, hey, Brennan, you're taking this table, which is awesome, but then flip it on its head, and it's like, oh, all my friends who got jobs right after college, they're now like executives and junior executives and making six figures and have retirements, and it's like, I'm still technically on paper in the same spot I was when I was in college, waiting tables. So even though I do it at this fancy place for a lot more money, it's like, yeah, but I'm still like, I'm here. Like I can't leave tomorrow and get a job at like a finance firm.
Yeah, but are these people happy?
No, they're not. But my point is like to what you're saying is like I am also trapped where it's like, oh, it's restaurants now.
Yeah.
Until comedy takes off, it's restaurants. Like that's what it is.
Yeah.
Because there's no way out.
There's no way out.
I'm in too much debt to take like a entry-level job at some firm somewhere to do bullshit computer data entry.
Yes, exactly. I'm into, I actually kind of got lucky. I never got into crazy amounts of debt.
Lucky.
So here's what happened. I ran up like 15,000 pounds worth of debt in England, and then I moved here. And then I lived here for 10 years, and then I moved back. And I ran up debt here, like probably like 10 grand. And then I moved back, and that debt was gone. And then I ran up more debt, and then I moved back here. So I basically
it's not you were lucky because you stayed out of
No.
debt.
I just moved. I played Catch Me If You Can for real. Just kept. If you have dual citizenship, this is what you do. Okay.
Yeah.
Nobody
those
tells you
companies
that.
Can't come over to this side of the pond.
No.
And vice versa.
Exactly.
So let's go through it. So because we kind of fast forward a little bit, but
Yeah.
I am very interested. So you're in the restaurant. Because you've worked at some really cool places. So what happens when you decide, how long are you at that first restaurant until you're like, oh, I can do this. Like, I'm going to go somewhere else.
A year and a half.
Okay.
So my plan was always to move to New York.
Yeah.
but my plan was to like get a framework of cooking. It's some kind of skill down before I moved here and worked for one of the big boys.
Yeah.
So
So
then
take us through it. What
Yeah.
what skill did you acquire? What were you doing?
So I could organize. So I was never good at like writing lists and actual organization on paper. But
Yeah.
I could organize with my brain, and I knew like how to prioritize what needed to be. So in the kitchen, I mean, it's just, I mean, it's like what's gonna fuck you the hardest first.
Yeah.
Take care of that first, and then work your way up. And
There's
that's
so
it.
many times I walk in the back and I'm like, why are we prepping something we're not going to use until tomorrow when we
Right.
have 400 covers on the books for
And do you know how many guys I've worked with who have cooked for years who don't know that basic fucking?
I walk in and I'm like, what are we doing, chef?
Why are you cutting chives at 7:30 in the morning? You fucking idiot! Take the chickens out of brine, you fucking moron.
Prep the cake. The cakes that are frozen, prep the cake.
I mean, the possibilities are endless with these fucking idiots. But yeah, I mean, that's just.
So you got good.
I got good enough. I thought I got good.
Okay.
I thought I was kind of like I could cook at home before I started cooking.
Yeah.
And I thought I had a certain amount of skill, and I had a bit of an attitude and a bit of an ego.
Of course. You're a chef.
Yeah, but before I got good.
Yeah.
And then I moved to New York City in 2012, and I literally walked around New York City I didn't have a smartphone. I bought a burner as soon as I got here. Of
course.
And I walked around.
You can't let the 15,000 pounds come find you.
No way. I had 30 grand saved up to move here with, and in the month before I moved from London to New York City, I sniffed 25 grand of it. So I moved here with 5. So
No
I like the biggest
fucking
self-sabotage of all time. I just fucking cocaine every night, locked in my bedroom. Piles
Just
of
by
coke.
yourself?
By myself. Just
Take us, because you didn't send that story. Take us through that.
Okay, so I would buy.
But just real quick so I can set the stage.
Yeah.
So you're at this place a year and a half.
Year and a half.
I've saved up 30 grand. I'm going to move to New York City.
I've saved up 30 grand. I'm gonna
How
move to New York.
long does it take for you to burn through that $25,000?
1 month.
So look at us. I got a settlement for $26,000 and I went through it in 28 days. Same thing. Exact
Easily.
thing.
I wasn't even trying,
It's
dude.
not even as hard as you think.
No,
like,
if I
for the people listening, it's actually kind of easy to do.
I mean, I wasn't even trying to do it. I was trying not to do it. Actually.
Yeah. So you decide. So do you like put your notice in and you're not working at that other spot anymore, or you just
No,
like,
I think
I'm
I
gonna-
quit like 2 months before I was
Okay.
leaving, so I just
a
had
month,
time to
You're
to
kind of
burn.
just on like, okay, let's get everything ready, and then
Yeah.
that whole last month, you're like, actually, you know what? I think I'm gonna party a little bit.
I think I was like nervous about coming here. My mom wasn't very well; she was pretty sick, and like I was leaving England and my family, and who knows what was coming up. So I
Yeah.
was like, it was just, and like if you're an addict, you just self-sabotage.
Yeah, of
and
course.
it was just
I
like
do it all the time.
1 gram after another. It was like 2-3 grams a night or something for
Jeez,
like
that's a lot.
It was a lot. I was doing a lot. Yeah, it wasn't good. Anyway, moved here survived. Moved here in 2012.
So $5 grand, 2012.
$5
no
grand,
smartphone.
2012. No smartphone, no bank, no job, no contacts, no nothing. I had a
You
week.
get off the plane at JFK.
Get off the plane at JFK. I had a week booked in a hostel in Spanish Harlem
Got it.
to figure everything out. And then I walked around New York City with a piece of paper with every Michelin star restaurant listed on it with the address.
Yeah.
And figured out the grid,
How many at the
grid
time?
system.
There's 16.
I think I had like 25 or 30 on this
Okay,
piece
I was
of
gonna
paper.
say, yeah.
All the biggest
Yeah.
ones I could find anyway. And half of them were shut because it was a Sunday. And then I went to this one restaurant called Veritas.
I know Veritas.
And it was shut because it was Sunday. And I looked over across the street, and Gramercy Tavern was there. And I'd never heard of Gramercy Tavern, and it wasn't on my list for some reason. And I walked in there, and Mike Anthony, the executive chef, was standing there, and he gave me like a 3-hour tour of the restaurant. Just off.
But I love little details. So
Yeah.
So you walk in.
I walk in, I'm like
Disheveled. You got like a duffel bag.
disheveled,
or just
sweating.
yeah.
I was like, it was August. I was like, can I speak to the chef? Can I go in the kitchen, please? I said to the lady. I said to the host, can I go in the kitchen? She threw me a card and said, just email the chef like that. I'm like, well, I'm not going to speak to him. Like I need to. And I started like kind of arguing with
Yeah.
her, like, just let me go back there for 5 minutes. I promise I ain't going to cause any trouble. And Mike Anthony was standing in the dining room talking to guests. And he just
So they're open for lunch.
They're open for lunch. It's the middle of lunch.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Midtown, business suits, celebrities. I'm just standing there with like in tracksuit bottoms, like a fucking drug addict. You know what I mean?
I
I
said,
need to
let me
talk to the
talk to the
yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
chef.
get me in there, please. And then
So he hears you.
so he's hearing me, and then he takes me into the kitchen, shows me the kitchen, introduces me to all the chefs, all the stations.
So how does that go? Because if someone walked into my restaurant and started getting loud with the host, I'd walk up there and go, "Get the fuck out of here." So
You know-
like, does he walk up and he goes, "Hi, I'm the executive chef," or like,
Yeah. Basically,
Yeah, and
that's
he
what
was
happened.
like, "Do you want to come? You want to come see the like? Let's go." And you just go in the back with him.
I think I told him my situation, and he
Okay.
was like, "All right, let's have a chat." And then we like went. He took me into the dining room, which was empty because it was lunch, and they only opened in the dining room for dinner. But the tavern's busy.
Yeah.
So he took me into the dining room, showed me all the paintings, and he was talking for ages about
It's sick.
all the artists.
I've only been there twice, but it's sick. It's
sick,
a nice
dude.
place.
It's my favorite restaurant. It used to be back before the corporate corporations took over it and fired all my friends. Anyway,
that happened with my restaurant too.
yeah, it's
They came in 2016. Came in
Same year,
Yeah,
dude.
bought it up, and
yeah.
then everyone's like, "Wait, this is because even now to this day, because we only have 3 locations, so corporate kind of leaves us alone,
Right.
But whenever I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're owned by this company," people are like, "Wait, what?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
they come for everybody."
yeah.
So you get this tour, and you're talking. So in your head, are you like, "Oh, got it, I got this job"?
I think because he had spent so much time with me, I was like, if I don't say anything stupid now for the rest of the time I'm with him, he'll offer me the job.
Mm-hmm.
And he did, and I also went for a trail at Oceana.
Yeah, that's Oceana's up there, man.
Dude, honestly, I actually at the time preferred the food of Oceana, but but it was a lot of fucking yelling going on in there when I was in there.
I could imagine.
And Gramercy Tavern was like nice, and everyone was polite, and obviously all the bullshit was like passive aggressive.
Yeah.
But it was but I picked Gramercy Tavern because it felt more like.
So did you get offered from both places?
I got offered for both places.
What was the position that was offered?
Line cook in both places, and Oceana offered me more money.
Okay.
They offered me $12 an hour, and Gramercy Tavern offered me 11, and I took 11 at Gramercy Tavern. Even though I preferred the food at Oceana, and it was more money.
Yeah, but there is this thing that you and I have spoken about a lot. But for the listeners who don't know, if you've ever seen a movie like Burnt or Chef or any of those kind of movies or even shows, that is a real thing. Like, and you and I have talked about this, but I have again worked with chefs who are very like Zen, like. Don't take anything personally, yada, yada, yada. And I've also worked with chefs who have literally, someone's ordered a well-done filet, and we had like the open service window into the dining room, and he picked it up and threw it out the window and said, threw it out the expo window into the dining room and said, "Who's ruining my fucking meat?" So like I've worked with all sorts of different kinds of chefs.
Yeah.
So for you, was that a factor in like choosing Gramercy? Like you said, it was quieter. Was that like the environment that you were working in? Was that an issue for you? Like, was that something you thought about?
It was, but I soon learned very quickly that I probably would have been better suited to working at Oceana.
Yeah.
Because all the cooks in in England are like dropouts and thugs basically.
Yeah.
And all the cooks in New York City, what I found out, were like from culinary school, and there was a lot.
Everyone went to CIA.
Everyone went to CIA. No one had any prior work experience. There was a lot of women in the kitchen. I hadn't. In England, I was learning like how to cook, but also how to like pick locks and cook ketamine in a fucking saute pan.
Yeah.
And in New York, I'm surrounded by women, so I'm learning how to like express my emotions without throwing things and how not to interrupt.
It is. I mean, it's the same thing with comedy. When I'm doing comedy in Florida, and it's a bunch of kids who were just like, "Yeah, I listen to like a lot of Rogan, and I wanted to try it," and like they have no fucking idea what they're doing.
Right.
But then you move to New York, and it's like, oh, everyone here is like the best. One of the best persons from that area that they grew up in.
Yeah.
And then they came to New York.
It's a dream team.
Yeah, it's the same thing in cooking. Because I had a Desmond on the show, who I think you've met, Desmond Lee.
Yeah.
But he also, same thing, worked at a really fancy place where he's from in the Midwest, decided to move to New York to be a chef, and got here and was like, "Yo,
yeah, I thought I was good.
This is fucking hard,
yeah,
man."
these women are way better than me. Yeah, and they're mouthier than me as well.
And so you get into the position at Gramercy, and where are you at in your, as far as your like quest with cooking? Are you like, this is like because Gramercy's a nice fucking place. It's recognized by both James Beard and Michelin. Are you like, this is where I'm going to make my bones? Or are you starting to turn to be like, oh fuck, what have I done?
No, absolutely. It was, I looked on at like the senior line cooks in the kitchen and certainly the sous chefs with admiration.
Okay.
And like these guys were like rock stars to me.
Yeah.
Gramercy Tavern was the hardest and best things I've ever done in my entire life. A lot of the cooks that came out of that restaurant went on to do great things. Mike Anthony's a legend. It was, and I went in there and just got humbled immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Garmager, my knives were shit. My knives were blunt. I didn't know how to sharpen on a whetstone.
Really?
I had, dude. I had like in England, I had like shitty like German knives that were like, I don't know. I was a drug addict. I didn't spend any money on them, And like these guys had like Japanese, like $2,000 in their knife bags and shit. I had just like this little roll that was covered in mud and shit.
Corporate steakhouse, and my CD, the executive chef, he's got like a couple ones where like you don't touch them.
Yeah,
and his knife bag, like he has ones that like obviously the ones with like the plastic handles, the generic chef's knives, which are still really good. He gave me one of those when I moved in here with Tracy as like a housewarming gift, and it's a great knife. But then when he's doing his shit, he's got his own like his knives,
right?
And you don't touch his knives.
Yeah. I fucking can't stand that, dude. My knife, like I've had decent knives, but you could just pick my knife up and like sharpen it on the ground.
Yeah,
and I'd be like, oh, whatever, fucking, it's a fucking knife, dude. Who gives a fuck? Some people, the people who get testy about their knives are generally like, they got some shit going on.
Yeah.
It's not the knife they're pissed off about.
My knife.
Yeah.
Don't touch it.
What's really going on? It's not me using your knife.
What are you telling me not to touch here, chef?
Yeah.
What's wrong?
Yeah. Who hurt you?
So. Take us through Gramercy then. So how long are you there until you leave that?
So I'm there for 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So I work.
I'm sure it's a huge education.
Massively. So there's probably about 40 cooks at any one time.
That's so many. 40
for an AM shift, 40 for a PM shift. They kind of hand over, and there's I don't know how many stations, 16, 17 stations to work.
That's so many.
Yeah.
We've
Upstairs
got like
and downstairs.
6. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And are they just, especially like at night, like broil, grill, like are those guys just fucking crushing?
Yeah. Like 80, 90, 100 duck breasts.
Yeah.
And then it's
just
not
like
including.
It's nothing.
Yeah. You get so good at at a small amount of things.
Yeah. But
very fast.
So good at it.
Yeah. So good at it. But if you work every station, you get pretty good at most things.
That's how our, shout out to Pablo. He's the broil guy because we use a broiler to cook the steak.
Right.
So he's like this, he's one of the executive Sues and also the broil, like the captain of the lead broil guy. And it's so crazy because like on a Saturday night, he'll have someone working broil and you'll come back there and he's on expo and then our executive chef's working the other expo and I'll walk in and be like, Pablo, can you just, and he'll be like, well, he's fine. I'm like, he's not fine. I'm coming up on like an hour ticket times. And he's like, fine.
Yeah,
and then he walks back there and within 20 minutes, everything's back to normal.
Right.
Everything's calmed down. It's like, this guy's like a superhero.
Pablo's on like $60 an hour.
Yeah. And he's just like back to like,
but he's worth like five cooks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's nuts because you're like, how did you do that?
Yeah.
Because he'll see a full rack of tickets and be like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
But the guy who's on,
you won't even
broil
read the
is
tickets.
Like,
I'll make 10 of everything right now.
And then I know exactly where I'm going.
Yeah.
So 4 years, you get obviously incredibly good, and then because I'm interested in the pivot, I'm interested to know when it turns. So you go from Gramercy to what? Because this was 15 years before you got into comedy and everything.
Yeah, so I was like kind of they were kind of grooming me to be a sous chef at Gramercy Tavern, but I got pretty addicted to crack while I was working there. In a nutshell, that's what happened.
So how did that come about? Because obviously you have a cocaine problem. We talked about that.
Got a coke problem.
Yeah.
Drinking every day, and I moved with a buddy of mine called Andrew. And shout out to Andrew
you only
Gumpel.
had a week at the hostel.
I only had a week at a hostel. So I ended up in some place around here in Astoria with like 5 roommates initially. And then I moved in with a gay couple in Sunnyside, and one of them was trying to fuck me, and the other one was torturing me. And they were a couple, so the guy who was torturing me didn't like me very much at all.
Obviously.
So I had to move out of there quick. I think I was there for like 6 months. And then I moved into Crown Heights in 2015 with a friend of mine, Andrew.
Shout out Andrew
Gumpel. And everybody in this neighborhood was either selling or smoking crack.
Okay.
So I came back from work one night, and I just wanted to get some coke. And my dealers weren't picking up or something like that. And I saw this guy pick something up from a car, and it was definitely a drug deal. And I walked over to the car, and I was like, yo, do you have any coke? And the guy was like, nah, man, it's all washed up. And I was like, all right, fuck it, I'll try some of that.
If you don't know what all washed up means, that means the cocaine has been turned into crack cocaine.
They've made it really good. And the guy
super potent.
Yeah.
And if people tell you not to try it, that's just because they don't want you to have a good time.
You will love it.
Don't try it. It's one of the things that's like almost addicting. Because everyone's always like, oh, heroin is super addicting the first time you try it. And maybe it is intravenously.
Not for me.
I've always snorted it, and I've always been like, yeah,
it's whatever. It
makes
makes me itchy.
But yeah,
I don't get it.
God, the itchy bitches. But crack is one of those things where you're like, what? If anyone's seen The Wolf of Wall Street, that's what they're doing in the phone booth, and you're like, that's nuts.
Game changer.
Yeah.
Blew my head off. Like, I had never felt anything like it. And the dealer was very hospitable. He took me into the deli, showed me the glass pen, showed me the Choi Boy stuff in the end, and basically showed me everything I needed to get on it. And then I think I bought 4 or 6 rocks off him that night. And he was on my doorstep.
Tried it first.
Yeah. He was on my doorstep from 11 at night till 5 in the morning. And I came into work the day after I had done it the first time, and I told my friend John Byrne, shout out John Byrne, oh, dude, I fucking smoked some crack last night. And he was like, really? I was like, yeah. And then when I went home the next night and I bought some more, and I came in the next morning and I looked at my friend John in the locker room, and he was like, you did it again, didn't you? I was like, yeah, dude, I'm fucking, yeah. And then he would catch me every morning.
How are you doing at work? Because I'm assuming you're up all night long, and then are you going in for the dinner shift? So
I'm going in for the dinner shift,
so
and I think I got that. Yeah, getting there at 1:30, I think it was, and finishing at midnight 1.
Yeah.
And just fueled by competition and spite.
Yeah.
And
anger and hate.
Basically. That was it. Just adrenaline. Just fueled by adrenaline. And I would get on the train on the way home back to Crown Heights from Gramercy Tavern, and it was 20 stops, and it was 55 minutes. And I remember I would count every stop, and I would get this stomachache as I got closer to Crown Heights. And I would get off at Crown Heights. I would run to my dealer, shout out E, that was his name. And no matter what number of rocks I wanted, if it was 6, if it was 8, if it was 10, he would go and hand me the exact number every single time from the back of his mouth, because he used to keep them in the back of his mouth. And I would grab these
rocks. It's like a magic
rocks.
trick.
It was a magic trick. It was crazy. Even if I was 18, he would be like, pull out 18.
Damn.
It was nuts, dude.
All
He
right,
never missed.
All right,
he never missed. And I would grab the crack. I would get my pen and my Choi Boy from the deli, and I would run upstairs, and I would be dying for shit every single time, guaranteed. And I would grab this DVD case, and I would take everything in a lighter, and I would run into the bathroom, and I would fucking light up as I was taking the shit. First thing when I got home at night, and I would smoke crack until fucking 6, 7 in the morning. I would go back down to the deli. I would buy 2 what do they call 40-ounce fucking malt liquors. Try and sleep. I'd
just
get 2 hours sleep, 3 hours sleep, and then go back into work and do it again.
So how long were you doing this?
So I was doing that for about a year.
Every day?
Every day.
Holy
And
shit.
it all culminated one day when President Obama was eating at Gramercy Tavern. I was scheduled on meat roast, which was basically the senior line cook position.
That's a big deal.
Yeah,
it's like broil in my restaurant.
Big boy. They scheduled for meat roast, and I had been smoking crack.
Did they tell you about this? Were they like, hey, Obama's coming in next week?
Of course. Yeah. Days coming up to it. They had him in the private dining room, Secret Service coming in, all this kind of shit. And I don't know how. I think I'd been up for 3 days at this point, and I passed out the night before, and I woke up at 7:38 or something. PM. And I went into work
for a shift that started at
1. I'm supposed to start prepping at 1. Came in, and they were fucking
Are you
pissed.
calling? Are you texting?
I just grabbed my shit and ran, dude. Ran to the train, got in there. I had a million missed calls on my phone. I'm not gonna fucking pick the. I'm just gonna fucking turn up. I don't want to do that phone call. So I ran in.
My phone died and I fell asleep.
Yeah. At this point, this was the 4th or 5th time I'd done this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they pulled me into the office. They were fucking giving me shit. They were like, "We're gonna
Mike,
fire you."
Is this the GM or?
I think it was Howard Kalashnikov. Shout out Howard. I think it was Howard.
Okay.
Howard and Duncan, maybe. I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
And these are the owners?
No, that's the CDC and the executive sous chef.
Okay.
Yeah. So they pull me in there. They're like,
so Mike's not there anymore.
Mike's not there yet. Right.
Okay.
So he's in there sometimes, but he's not there most of the time. And they were like, "We're gonna fire you. This is bullshit. All this kind of stuff. What's happening?" And I just told them everything. I was like, "I'm addicted to crack. I'm smoking it all night, every night. I can't stop. I understand if you want to fire me. Is it okay? Can you lend me $5,000? Because I've got 3 crack dealers trying to kill me right now because I owe them money and I can't pay my rent."
Yeah.
And they were like, they let me keep my job. They lent me the money. And as long as I had to like sit down and give like Mike like a full apology.
Yeah.
And then obviously I wasn't able to be sous chef. So
Yeah.
I think I was there for like another year, and then I was.
So
like,
did you end up working the shift with Obama, or did they pull you?
No,
in the
I think
office
they
as
sent
soon
me
as you
home. I
walked
think they
in?
told me off and sent me home.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
missed the.
Damn.
Yeah.
So what happened after? Did you? Because you said you worked there for another year. Were you
Yeah.
on the straight and narrow that next year?
No, not really. This is what happened. One of the sous chefs, Rafiq Salim, who's my brother, and his now wife Megan Fahrenkamp. Rafiq is the executive chef of Rolo's in Ridgewood, Radio Bakery. There's 2 of them, and Hellbender in Ridgewood.
Okay.
And he took me in and put me on his couch for like 9 months to get me out of the crack area.
Yeah.
And I had only, it was less cracky. So
Yeah.
I did smoke it a couple of times while I was there, but they didn't
But
know
not
about
nearly
it.
as much.
Not nearly as much.
Not doing it every
So I
day.
was still drinking, still doing coke, but I wasn't really smoking crack anymore.
Okay. Well, that's a win. You got out of it.
Hey, 2 steps.
The
what is
Obama
it?
thing is kind of crazy, man.
Yeah, it was nuts. And they took a big picture, like all the staff
Of course.
with him, and
Yeah.
I wasn't in it. Obviously.
God, you idiot. So then what happens after Gramercy? Do you leave there on good terms, or you like, fuck this, I'm out? Or?
I'm like, so a guy starts working at Gramercy, and he's from Del Posto.
Okay.
Which is 2 Michelin star,
Yeah.
Mario Batali's big place before he got canceled or whatever. And he tells me about Del Posto. It sounds like a good place to go. He sets me up with an interview with...
So wait, he's coming in.
So he came from Del Posto to start at
But
Gramercy
why would he
Tavern.
leave Del Postos if it's such a good spot?
I think he worked there for like 3 or 4 years, and they didn't make him a sous chef.
Oh, okay.
That's
Then,
generally
yeah.
what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah,
So then he
yeah,
goes
100%.
somewhere else to try and get
we
sous
have
somewhere
plenty
else.
of guys who.
Yeah, exactly. So that sounded like a good place for me to do my next cooking experience. So I went for an interview there, and I got offered a job there at Del Posto and at Maria.
Okay.
And I picked Del Posto, and I went there.
Okay. And did you go in there as a sous or again as a line cook?
Like a senior line cook, fast track to become a sous.
Okay.
What
What happened?
Okay, so all the cooks there were very like green. They were straight out of culinary school.
And
They didn't
this-
have the skill that the Gramercy Taverns cooks
I was
had.
going to say, that's one big thing. There's a lot of people who come out of culinary school and they immediately think like, I'm a chef. And it's like, bitch, no, you are not.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
you have to, because it's when you're in a controlled environment, especially, and it's the same thing with comedy. Like if you take a comedy class, you're not just like, oh yeah, now I'm a comedian and I know how to deal with everything. It's like, no, you have to do the mics and you have to do the shitty shows and you have to be in it.
You have to fail and fail and fail more.
Yeah.
That's the
and
only
so
way.
you get there, and it's all these CIA,
All
and
these CIA
culinary
kids, they think they're
institutes, and
fucking big shot. And I get a reputation straight away of being a bully and making all the girls cry.
Oh man.
So, yeah. And one girl actually quit because I told her, she tried to offer me a cookie one morning, right? And I had been up all night doing coke, and I was not in the mood for a cookie. And she would not leave me alone. She kept offering me this cookie. And I said, I don't want your fucking cookie. Go over there and stop talking to me and never talk to me again, is what I said to her. And she was my PM partner, right? So I was the AM cook. She was the PM cook. And I told her never to talk to me again.
And so she quit.
She quit like 2 weeks later because she could. I just kept like turning up on her station and like throwing her mise en place in the trash and like not talking to her, being like, "This is garbage."
You are a bully. What do you
Yeah,
mean
I was
perceived
not
as
in a good
bully?
place. Yeah. I was not. Yeah, I was a bully. I was not a good person while I was
But
at
it's
Del
also,
Posto.
I mean, I do, obviously, bullying works sometimes, but it's not a nice thing to do. But I do understand it from a perspective of like, it's like me at the mics. Like, I still go to mics, even though I've been doing comedy a long time. And you get some of these kids that come in and they're like, yeah, I'm fucking the man. And I'm like, who the fuck? What the fuck?
Dude,
like,
if you have the right attitude, I'll treat you with respect.
100%.
But she had a bad attitude, and I was
100%.
not putting up with it. And
So,
what I mean, I got the consequences where I got
Yeah,
labeled
well,
a bully, and they were like, "Fuck you," basically.
Yeah.
So I was there for a year.
there goes the fast track.
Yeah, there goes the fast track was off. No more fast pass. You're waiting and fucking. You're not even getting into the line. So I was there for a year, and then the CDC Matt Abdu was leaving after a year, and he was going to go start a barbecue restaurant called Pig Beach in Brooklyn. In
I know Pig
Kiwanis.
Beach, yeah.
Pig Beach. And so he took 2 people with him. He took another guy, a friend of mine, Stephen Fugati. Shout out Stephen. And he took me. And Del Posto had a leaving party for Steven, and they had nothing for me.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
you got labeled the bully.
I got labeled a bully, and then yeah.
So he saw the skills and was like, "You're coming with me."
Yeah, he was like, he's miserable, he's a prick, but he fucking, I hustled and I worked hard. I was the only cook that like didn't sit down for lunch. I wouldn't fucking sit down for lunch because I had the prep list, I had to get it done. And like, I don't like cooking, but I take pride in my work, and I need to fucking, like, if it's got my name attached to it, I have to make sure it's fucking good.
And at this point, going from Del Postos to Pig Beach, are you starting to get into that mindset of like, I don't want to fucking do this anymore?
I guess it's kind of like I'm gonna try and get out of fine dining a little bit, see what's going on over here. Matt was like, if you come early in this business, we'll give you like stock in or shares in the company or whatever it is.
Well, and that's I've worked for
Golden Carrot stuff.
Yeah. And I've worked with a couple of times I've worked at non-corporate places, and the difference is like not even non-corporate, just non-established.
Yeah.
Like you walk in and it's like, hey, this is the original team, and the difference between that and working at like a big time restaurant that's been around for 50 years is pretty significant because people value your input. You'll be like, hey, what if we did it like this? And a lot of times they're like, actually, it's a great idea. Let's do it like this.
Right.
Whereas when you go into a place like Gramercy Tavern that's been established, they're like, fuck you, we do it this way.
Yeah.
So that had to have been a bit of a breath of fresh air to be in some place brand new where they obviously value enough because they brought you in.
Yeah, it was, and it was fun. It was like outside. They didn't have an indoor dining space. They basically just bought a car park in Gowanus, Brooklyn, and they had like a shed which had a walk-in in it. It was like a bicycle shed. And, we used to make all the barbecue sauces outside. We'd be getting attacked by wasps as we were doing it. And, we would
Not
just...
Gramercy Tavern anymore.
Right. And this was the first time like me and Steven figured out that like no one was really watching us. So like we were like, okay, we just fucking drink Modelo's in the bathroom all day long and just fucking, just keep the buzz going. Keep the buzz. That's how you get through barbecue because you're doing the same thing again and again and again.
Well, it takes so long.
Oh,
it's not like cooking a steak where it like happens in minutes.
It's very
hours.
regimental. You got to, rub, 200 racks of, it's too much. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
So then I'm curious as to what brought you into the what made the pivot?
What was the transition?
Yeah,
I'll tell you.
Because you still cook, but you also now do comedy.
Right. So ultimately, I think I worked in 2 more restaurants, small restaurants after that. But I ended up executive chef of a restaurant in Brooklyn.
He made it, folks.
I made it. I did make it on Vanderbilt Avenue called Fawn. Right. So I was there as the executive chef. I got airdropped in, so I had a crew already there, and I had to like kind of prove myself.
Was this a brand new place, and they brought you on?
It had been open for 2 years.
Okay,
it's not open anymore, but it was an Italian pasta. Everyone got a pasta.
How did they find you?
The owner had a daughter that was at school with Howard Kalashnikov's son. So Howard hooked me up with it. He was like, I think you'd be good for this place. It'd be,
So you came right. So it went from line cook, fast track to sous chef. Then you threw that away. Then line cook.
Then it was sous chef at a couple of places.
Okay.
And then it was executive.
Got it.
And then so I was there until COVID happened, and they shut the restaurant down. And
how did you like it being the big boss?
Oh,
like it's your menu.
Yeah, that took a while. That took a few months to like get some dishes under my wing and start getting creative. The creative side of cooking, I was never very good at. I'm good at like you give me a list, I'll bang it out.
Yeah, that's what you were saying earlier. You're very much like your brain is kind of like this.
I never had the fine dining gene that a lot of my friends that I grew up in the business with had. I could put a dish together that was kind of like a little bit copied from that, and it kind of made sense. And I could make it look like my own.
You're not like
I'm not
turning, like,
I'm not a fine dining guy. I don't really.
That?
I don't really. I'm kind of sick of fine dining at this point. I'm just kind of doing it to like to prove to myself that I could do something like this.
Yeah.
So I did that for a year and a half, and it went well. Although like the drug taking and the drinking skyrocketed because no one's fucking.
You're the boss now.
Yeah, I'm the boss. No one's looking out for me. So so the drinking turned into 24-hour pretty quickly.
Okay.
So I had to drink to get on the train. I had to drink to get in the shower.
Yeah.
And then drink to get on the train,
yeah.
and then drink at work, and then I'd be running out to the deli next door every 2 hours to keep to stop the withdrawals from happening. And but somehow I was very functional, and And it was fine. It was fine. There was a couple of incidents where, like, falling down the stairs and, yelling at,
Shit
firing
happens.
people on the spot. Whatever. Fucking, who cares?
You call him the next day.
Yeah.
Like, where are you?
No. Fuck you.
No, you did it?
No, I'll do it on my own, bitch. I don't need a sous chef.
That
Spite,
level
baby.
Of spite. Is
Yeah.
astounding. But I've been there.
Yeah.
I've got a long list of people who have said that they're going to come on this show and then big time me, and I'm like, all right, never.
Dude,
ever
if you're not
coming
making
on
enemies
the
in New York
show.
City,
Yeah.
you're not living a New York
Yeah.
lifestyle. You gotta have enemies.
Yeah, that's
You gotta make a few.
You have to. Well,
Yeah.
because you have that bit about it, but that's very funny. It's very true. Where it's like you got to have a couple.
You gotta have a couple
You're
of
doing it
enemies.
wrong.
Yeah, you're doing it wrong.
So then they shut down because of COVID.
They shut down because of COVID. Now I was making quite a bit of money at Fawn. So when they shut down, the government was giving me like, in total, I had like 2 things coming in, and I was getting like $12.50 a week from the government, which was actually just a little bit more than I was making at Fawn.
Yeah.
And then
So between the stimulus and the unemployment, you were kind of making just about
making
the same.
$12.50 a week, more than enough to do drugs all week and drink all week and just fucking lose
Well, yeah,
my
because up
mind.
here too, there was like a rent freeze and all sorts of shit.
Yeah, that didn't happen in my apartment,
Oh,
but
didn't? Okay. I mean,
it was still enough money.
I was in Florida, so we went back to work in July.
Right.
So the shutdown was in March, April, May, June like 20th. They called and they're like, "Hey, we're reopening. Get
Right.
your ass here in July." And
Right.
I was like, "All right."
So I got that phone call in April. So Farm was reopening, and I got a phone
Oh,
call.
really? I thought they
Yeah.
were shut down up here for like 2 years.
No. They opened. I think all the restaurants down Vanderbilt Avenue opened back up.
Okay.
But the owner called me up. Was like, "Hey, we're opening. Come back to work." And I was like, "Well, if I come back to work, I'm not going to get these checks anymore, and I'm going to make less money.
Yeah.
So fuck you. I'm not coming back to work." So,
Oh, wow.
So I just stayed in my apartment and partied for like another year.
So you worked all the way up to CDC, and then when he was like, "Come back," you're like, "Actually, I'm good."
No, I'm fine.
Damn.
Good, yeah. I'm not coming
Damn,
back to
man.
work, dude. No way. And then, so I slowly started to lose my mind during COVID, as everybody did in my apartment. And a friend of mine offered me a job in Spokane, Washington, as an exec chef of one of his restaurants, Wooden City. Shout out to John Green.
Shout out.
Yeah, and then I moved to Spokane, and he was like, "Well, actually, this guy's going to be the exec chef. You're going to be a sous chef." And I was like, "All right, well, that would have been nice to know before I moved here." And I took me
You
about.
picked up and moved.
I picked up and moved. I just
Yeah.
fucking left everything in my apartment. I just moved there and fucking
And so, what were you gonna do? Keep your apartment here and then just
No, I
live?
was just like, I'm out of here. See you later.
Did you like call to
Who?
tell him the landlord?
Oh yeah. I told him.
okay.
Yeah. I think I sold everything in like 3 days or like.
Kieran, don't look at me like I'm crazy. You don't have a very responsible history.
No.
I have expected you to be like, no, I just left. Put the
Yeah.
key under the mat and left.
Right. Well, I've done that since then anyway. But
So you go to Spokane, and then you're
Yeah,
now
so
going to
that-
be a sous, and
So-
you're like, I'm not a fucking sous chef.
well, I kind of just like I'm there now, so I take the job and I start working for this guy, and he's all right. He's a nice guy, but I'm drinking more than ever, and it takes me 2 months to like explode, call him a cunt, and I walk out of this job. So now I'm stuck in Spokane, Washington, in the middle of the woods, with nothing to do. And no car, and like I could walk to this restaurant, so that was fine. But besides that, the only place I could really walk to was like a liquor store.
Yeah.
And I got my guy from New York City sending me acid and mushrooms in the fucking post. So he's wrapping it in like candy and shit.
Yeah.
And I walk out of this restaurant. I start dropping acid like 7 a.m. every day in the woods, and there's raccoons everywhere. There's squirrels.
Yeah, it's Spokane.
There's fucking moose. I walk outside, I see like 3 moose and shit. I'm trying to film them. They're like, "Don't film them. They're fucking dangerous." I'm running away.
Yeah, they're huge. They'll
Yeah.
kill you.
So I'm in Spokane, Washington for 4 months. And by the end of the 4th month, I'm like, I'm going to kill myself because life's gone fucking terrible. So in Washington State, you only need a Washington State license to buy a gun and $500 to buy a Glock. So I applied for my Washington State license, got that, and the day I went to go buy the gun, I got a phone call from my friend Luciana, shout out Luciana, in New York City, called me up, and she's like, "Hey, I want to start a consulting firm in New York City. Do you want to come do that with me? I need a back of house guy for it, and I got a place for you to stay." So I was like,
So that
sweet.
saved your life.
Saved my life. Got a plane back to New York.
Don't gloss over that.
Right.
You were like on the cusp of like, I'm out of here.
Definitely going to blow my brains out, yeah.
And then you get this phone call.
Yeah.
And then now, boom, you're back in New York. He's
Yeah.
back, baby.
I'm back in New York, baby. Back in New York. So we started this consulting firm, and we got a couple of gigs that are like
Restaurant consulting, I'm assuming?
restaurant
Yeah.
consulting, which is a scam. If anyone, if you, first of all, if you need a consultant in a restaurant, you've already fucking failed. Yeah. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's just getting paid a ton of money to tell you to come in and.
Well, and it's also funny because I've been in that situation before where people in my life have been like, I'm gonna open a bar restaurant. And I'm like, you have no experience in restaurants, period. Why would you do that? And they go, well, I see it on TV, and like I love going to bars, so it'd be fun. And I'm like, this is idiotic. Like, don't do this.
Yeah.
And then you get the call like, hey, I don't know how to train my staff. Can you write me I had to write like training manuals and stuff for them, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Like, they don't even know what steps of service is. And it's like, that's so ingrained in me. It's like second nature.
If you don't know the ins and outs of a restaurant before you start one, you're fucked.
100%.
You are fucked.
So you joined this consulting firm.
So we started a consulting firm called Calm. I can't remember what the anagram standed for, but we had a couple of clients in New York City. We tried to get this big client out in Mexico. It didn't work out. We both drank a lot at the time. We argued like
Are
cat
you
and
still doing hard drugs and everything?
I'm still doing hard drugs. I'm drinking heavily. And
you're really
we're
getting
doing
a
acid
lot
together.
Accomplished.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of. I'm functioning like but things are it's starting to unravel.
Yeah.
I'm starting to lose jobs. I'm starting to blow up on people. I'm starting to.
You said you were fighting a lot with your partner.
Fighting a lot with my business partner. 24-hour drink. I'm coming to the end of 24-hour drinking. I can't sustain it. Things are starting to fall apart. I'm starting to look like shit. I'm starting to feel like shit. I'm starting to wake up. I want to kill myself. And it basically culminates where like. We have this massive argument one day. We went to Memphis, to the Memphis in May barbecue competition, to see my friend Shane McBride, who with the Pig Beach crew had a stall out there and all that kind of stuff. We had this huge. We were arguing for like 3 days. Came back. We had another fat argument.
What are you arguing about? Like the business?
We're arguing my drinking,
your
the
friends?
business.
Okay.
She was kind of I felt like she was kind of bossy. I didn't like being bossed
and
around.
That's the thing. It's like when you go into business with a friend, it can be difficult because then the lines get blurred of like, well, fuck you, you drink too much. And it's like, well, this is a business. Like, I'm not affecting the business with my, and so it can kind of. And I've done that before.
Yeah.
Where
and
it
was getting to the point where we couldn't work together anymore, and. We had this fat argument one day, and it had to do with like her sister wanted to come in and clean up the apartment, and it was her apartment. She had the right to do that, but I was in there drinking, so I didn't want her in there. So I caused a fucking scene and all this kind of shit, and I got thrown out of the apartment. So they were like, well, fuck you, fuck the business, you're getting kicked out of the apartment. By that point, I fucking called my dad in England. I'm like, Dad, I need to go to fucking rehab because this is fucking nuts. Yeah. And that's when I moved back to England for 3 years at that point.
What year is this? 2020.
This is 2021.
2021.
2021.
Oh, so this is right after the pandemic.
This is right after the pandemic, and I end up doing 4 trips in rehab. In and out, kind of staying on my dad's couch.
So are you going and then coming out and then like
I'm going, coming out.
Back?
I'm relapsing, going back in. I take a head chef job at this restaurant, the Bingham Hotel on the Thames in England. Is a nice restaurant.
Sounds like
yeah, 3 rosette stars, and I at this point. I remember I came out of rehab the first time, and I met a girl in rehab called Daisy, and she was a crack and heroin dealer.
Yes, she was.
And she was, and she had the Liverpool Mafia after her, I remember. And we were kind of friendly in
there
rehab.
A Liverpool Mafia?
Oh, yeah. They control all the drugs in England and, like, most of Spain, because that's where the main port is in England.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
Right. So they'll bury you if you fuck with them, basically.
Of course.
And so we were friendly in rehab. I was in there for 3 months the first time. We came out. We both relapsed separately. And then, like, we were like, hey, let's hang out. So I had her come to my apartment for, like, 4 days when I had off from work. And she brought a load of crack and heroin with her. So we started smoking speedballs and all this kind of shit. And I was head chef at this restaurant at the time. And I smoked this. I remember we were trying to hook up, but I couldn't get it up because, all the fucking heroin and the crack and
it'll do it.
Whatever. But so we're sitting there afterwards after a failed attempt at trying to hook up, and I'm just like packing this pipe with crack and heroin. And I have a lot of experience with crack. I love the shit. So I like to smoke a lot as fast as possible. And so I'm pouring that in, and I'm pouring in heroin to like match it. I don't realize that if you smoke enough heroin, it's just going to shut your heart and your lungs off.
It just turns off.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. So I'm feeling great, and I go to lie down and just like chill. And next thing I know, I wake up and I'm on the floor, and there's 5 paramedics over me, and they've like pumped me full of Narcan, I guess.
Of course.
And Yeah, overdosed, and they said I was dead, and
So you died.
I died basically. I died.
Was this you said you got a head chef job? Are you off your dad's couch at that point? You're in your own.
I
apartment?
had my own apartment in
Okay.
Southwest London in Teddington, and yeah,
Just died right.
just
there
died on the floor. She pulled me off the bed because apparently I stopped breathing. She pulled me off the bed, and she should have just bounced because she was a crack and heroin dealer.
Yeah.
She could have just left me, but she stuck around, called the paramedics, and made sure I was alive. Shout out to Daisy, who's also been
That's
sober
awesome.
for like
Yeah.
3 years at this point. Love you, Daisy, and we still talk. And
So
so
all these people saving your life, man.
all these people say, dude, one angel after another, man. I don't know what, like, I better do something good with my life by the end of it. I fucking.
I mean, you're all
for some reason.
you're all doom and gloom and sorrow. There's a lot of people who care about you.
Yeah, apparently so. No, there are. I've had multiple people save my life, and so they send me off. So they take me to the hospital. I'm attached to all these wires and shit, but I have work in the morning, right? So
And you're the exec.
I'm the exec. So I pull out all these wires. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. They're like, where are you going? I'm like, I got work at 7. So I go back to my apartment. Daisy's still there. She's like, you're fucking crazy. I'm like, I'm downing fucking cider at this point. So I'm like, I gotta get drunk again because like I feel a bit weird. I just died.
sober.
yeah. Smoke a bunch more heroin and then turn up to work the next day like half an hour early. And I remember the GM, they hadn't seen me fucked up at this point. They'd only seen me really sober.
Yeah.
And I turn up like after like
Oh yeah, because you've been
ODing.
coming in and out of rehab. So
Yeah, I
they
came
were
out of
like-
rehab, got the
Yeah.
job there, and I was sober for like 9 months. And
And
then
were you like, boy, oh boy, when you got out of rehab, like, I got it, it's under control now? Or were you like,
Yeah.
fuck this?
I thought I had it every time.
Yeah.
I thought I had it every time.
Same. So I went to this.
I never like came out of rehab like I'm about to fucking relapse. Let's go.
I mean, I talk about this a lot, but 2 weeks before I got my first 1 year chip, I was like, maybe I overreacted. Maybe I'm not that bad. And dude, I couldn't get more than 3 months, 6 months after that.
Yeah.
It was a disaster.
Yeah, I think
And
I got
went-
6 months 3 times, I think.
Yeah, I went to rehab like I called the number on the back of my insurance card. I called my mom like crying. I was like, and I'm 25 and I'm like, I don't know what to do, but I cannot stop drinking. I cannot stop doing drugs. Like I'm dying. I don't know what to do. Going to rehab and dude, I came out like fucking let's go. Never going to touch this stuff again.
Yeah.
And then literally 2 weeks before my 1 year chip, I'm like,
Fuck this meeting. I'm
have
gonna
a
go
drink.
Yeah.
like, what am I never going to drink?
Shit, you got sober when you were 25?
I went to rehab when I was 25.
Okay.
I got sober this last time when I was 30.
Okay.
So from 25 to 30.
You're deep in the game then.
Yeah. Well, so
Yeah.
I had like a significant drinking problem for a very long time, but I went to rehab at 25. And this was after I spent all that money and stuff. And then I got, got close to 1 year, relapsed, and then couldn't get max was 6 months.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, all right, I'm good again. And that's the problem working in restaurants. Because it's very fluid. Like you can jump from one restaurant to another. You can get a job like that. You
Yeah.
start getting paid within a week or two, and like you're back off to the races.
Yeah.
Where it's not like a corporate job where you have like 12 interviews and oh my god, I can't get fired because it took me so long. I could literally get fired from my job. I say this all the time. I get fired from my restaurant that I work at now, and I would have a new job before I came home that same
Yeah,
night.
if you know enough people.
Well, and like
You just make a phone call.
yeah, and my reputation and my
Yeah, you don't
resume,
you don't really need a resume, but
Yeah.
like you just
You just walk in and go, "Hey, I worked here. I was the one of the lead
Yeah,
trainers here," and they're like, "Yeah, fuck."
oh yeah, this guy sucks. You can take his job.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same thing in the back house.
Yeah.
As you explained to us when you showed up at Gramercy Tavern, you're like, just let me talk to him.
Yeah.
And I'm fine. But I say all that to say, like, it was my 30th birthday, and I talk about this in my one-man show that's on YouTube, but like I didn't want to drink that day. And I had like a month sober, and I drank and I drank and I drank, and I ended up in the hospital being told I should be dead. And it was like, oh, fuck, man. I think I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the experience for me. So for you die. You come show up to work a half hour early, and this is the first time that they've seen you like this.
Yeah. And the guy was like, well, what's wrong with you? Why do you look like shit? And I'm like, well, I fucking died from crack and heroin last night, and I turned up to work. So, and the guy was like,
Just shocked.
I just shocked. And then over the next 2 weeks, I just deteriorated, and I was back in rehab again.
Okay.
And this kind of went on, and it, slowly I realized that all the drugs in the world, I think alcohol is the fucking most dangerous and the worst.
Yeah.
I died from crack and heroin, but alcohol almost really fucking killed me.
Yeah, it's hard because it's so accessible and it's like just a thing that everybody does. And especially, I mean, it's different European culture. I've had a lot of Europeans on the show. They talk about how in Europe, it's not as It's not as like rah, let's all get fucked up at 16 with your friends. And because it's more accessible, it's actually toned down a little bit.
Yeah.
But I know in my experience, it was like as soon as I started drinking, I was like, this is the best.
Yeah.
And because of that, it was the worst.
Yeah.
Because it fixed every problem I had.
I didn't understand when people don't have a drink in front of them at any time of the day. Like if you're not at work, like why aren't you drinking right now? I've never understood that. I still don't understand.
I used to wake up in the morning and do shots for breakfast because I was like, let's go.
If I wasn't an alcoholic, I'd be drinking right now.
Yeah, same. Well, I say it all the time too, because like at work we have wine tastings and stuff, and obviously I don't taste the wine, but I still am there to like learn about the wine so I can tell my guests about it. And it's so funny because like some of my coworkers will joke, they'll be like, just try a little bit of it. I'm like, you don't understand. Like you think, oh, just try a little bit of it, it'll be fine. I was like, within 3 weeks, I'm gonna be calling you guys for rent.
Yeah.
So how do we want to play this?
Yeah.
You guys really want me to try the wine that bad? What do we want to do here?
I mean, God bless them. You
Yeah.
know, you can't. There's no point trying to explain it.
Yeah,
to these people.
I laugh it off, and they do it out of like joking, but it is interesting because no one in New York has ever seen me drunk, which is insane for me to think. Because
That's great.
If you talk to some of my people back, like some of my friends and family back in Florida, they'd be like, "Yo, we thought he was dead. He should have been dead." Like I've been arrested 8 times. Like I say it on stage, but that's not a bit. Like that's true.
Yeah.
And it was all because I would get drunk and fucking mouth off to cops. Like I never hurt any. Like I got in one bar fight, but I was never aggressive towards like my ex-fiance or girlfriends or anything, but like I would get drunk and I have a real problem with authority.
Yeah.
So cops would pull me over and I'd be like, fuck you. You know, and you know how it is. And so it is one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's crazy. I'm coming up on 8 years and it's like, that is nuts.
That's epic, dude.
So
congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it. But we're talking about you. So what happens? What ends up happening with the job? You said 2 weeks. You start to deteriorate.
Yeah. So, I mean, I can't remember whether it was after the second or the third rehab trip, but I ended up just walking out of there and drinking, and then ended up back in rehab for the 4th time. And the 4th time I went into rehab, I really did not want to be there.
Yeah.
I was having seizures from not drinking, and I got in there, and within a week, my plan was to escape. I was like, I'm not going to do this again. I can't meet all these fucking lunatics again, you know, because you live with just 60, 70 fucking psychos. And you got to do the whole thing again. And I was just like, I'm gonna escape this rehab, and I'm gonna go to London, back to London, and I'm just gonna drink. Yeah. That was my plan. Drink and figure it out, right? Yeah. Probably would have died.
That was my plan.
And then
all the time, that was some fucking plan.
Yeah. And then I remember I was lying in bed one morning, and I had a spiritual experience. This is the second time this had happened to me. My mom passed away in like 2016, and this is how brutal the restaurant industry is. My mom passed away when I was working at Del Posto. I took 1 day off work, and that was it. 1 day off work, cried, drank, did coke, turned up to work the next day, and just never thought about it again. Yeah. And she was like my favorite person in the world, but I hadn't really addressed that. I kind of glossed over this, but I fell in love in like 2015 to 2018. I had a girlfriend, serious girlfriend, my kind of first serious girlfriend. That broke up because I was a drunken maniac, and I never really addressed that. And the 4th time in rehab, it was a culmination of all this pain and all this shit. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do rehab. I'm never gonna get sober. And I was about to escape. And I had a dream where I was hanging out in a living room with my mom, and she asked me if I was okay, and I said, yeah, I'm all right. And I asked her if she was good. She said, yeah. And I kind of like grabbed her toe and I wiggled it, and I was like, you know, I kind of love you, Mom. Can I have a hug? And she got up to hug me, and I was hugging my mom in my dream, and I woke up like halfway, like while I was hugging my mom, and I could still feel this hug, and it was like an electricity just fucking vibrated through me, and this must have lasted for about a minute while I was awake, and it was like physical. I could feel it, and I fucking broke down. I burst into tears for like half hour, and then. In the dream, she handed me an AA leaflet, which was dripping in gold for some reason. But when I was 18 and 19 years old, she used to hand me AA leaflets all the time because she used to go to AA. But I never went to her because she knew I was an alcoholic.
Yeah,
but I never went.
I
never went with her. And in the dream, she handed me an AA leaflet, and I said, "All right, Mom, I'll do it." And I fucking stuck, and I stayed in rehab for the whole 3 months.
Fucking go.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it was crazy,
dude.
It was
that's
crazy.
An awesome story,
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it, dude.
I had the spiritual experience is something crazy because, I mean, we talk about it in the Super Secret program, but it's something that is, you can it's learned like over time, or you will have a moment where you're like, oh yeah, I figured it out. Yeah. And I had one of those. I remember I did something horrific, like very bad. Not to anyone personally, but there was So no one was injured. I didn't kill anybody or anything like that. But I did something where, as a person with a moral compass, I was like, what are you doing? Like, I basically threw my moral compass on the ground and shattered it.
Yeah, I've become feral, basically.
Yeah, I had done something where I was like, this was never a point I thought I would ever get to in my life doing something like this, and I did it. And I remember I broke down like scream crying to my ex-fiance. She was sitting on the bed, and I'll never forget it. I was like, what have I done? Yeah. So I did something, and then I called someone to try and fix it, and they were like, it's done. Like, there's no fixing it. It's gone. Yeah. And I remember dropping to my knees, like, and this is after rehab, after all that, but I was obviously drinking again, and I was like scream crying, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, like throwing up, scream crying, and then I had to live with that for 2 days, and then on the third day, that same guy called me back. He goes, I got it back. You're gonna be all right. I fixed it. Nice. And I remember in that moment looking up at the sky and being like, oh shit,
this is my opportunity.
This is my opportunity. Like, I basically got like a, hey, everything's gonna be okay card, and then I ended up pissing it away. But
sure.
But in that
the moment was there,
and it was one of those things to what you're describing, where it was like this weird connection with like the universe, where I was like, oh, everything is gonna be okay. Yeah. Like, I'm not gonna die. Everything's gonna work out. Yeah. And then of course I pissed all over it, like I said, but that moment of like clarity where you're like, holy shit.
And I think it takes that.
Yeah.
I think you need to have that to happen. Because I was
like, oh, there is something on the other side. Like, we're going to be okay. Yeah. And so you had that in rehab. And then,
so I had that in rehab. Yeah. So I came out the fourth time with a purpose. I talked about everything in rehab. I let it all out. Everything. Ex-girlfriend, mom, everything. I was like, I can't take another job in a restaurant. I need to get sober. Otherwise, everything else is fucked. Yeah. So I took a job mowing lawns with a friend of mine. He was a landscaper. This is in England. Yeah. So I mowed lawns with this guy, and he did some tree surgery, which is lumberjack in England. And he was a friend of mine, and we worked well together for about a year. And then one day, he was paying me in cash, so I wasn't paying taxes. And I got a phone call from the government, from the English IRS, whatever the fuck they're called. I can't remember.
And you guys pay a lot more taxes over there than we do.
Pay a lot more taxes. And I told him I got this phone call. So now he started getting worried that like they were going to be on to him for paying people in cash.
Why did they call you?
Oh, because I was living there and I wasn't paying taxes. I guess I got red flagged. No, somehow. I was going to say. I mean, I'm not sure exactly what flagged me, but
it's a very simple thing. This is why if you ever commit crime, and we know because we're initiated, but if you ever commit crime, you don't ever fucking buy something big. If you've ever seen Goodfellas, you know this because it immediately flags in the system,
right?
Because they're like, hey, we know you work at this place because we see your income every year. How did you buy a fucking 55 pink Cadillac for your mom?
Right, exactly. So yeah, and then he started being like, you got to sign this contract to say that I've been paying you like legit for a year. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to do that because then I have to pay like back taxes. You know what I mean? I don't have that fucking money. Yeah, I'm going to get crushed in back taxes. So I told him to fuck off. And he was like, yeah, but my kid, I got to feed my... And I was like, dude, I don't give a fuck if you have a fucking kid. No offense, but it's not my fucking problem.
Yeah, you hired me for cash.
You know what this was. You were paying me in cash. So he called...
It's so funny when people backpedal when they know that they're wrong. Dude. And they're like, yeah, but for me. And it's like... We went in on this together.
Yeah, like stop, dude. And I basically just said that to him straight, and he was like, "Fuck off, get out of here. You're a fucking piece of shit." And I walked off of this job mowing lawns again. So for the second time, someone called me a fucking piece of shit loser.
So you know what that means?
That minute, I was like, "I'm gonna move back to New York, and I'm gonna fucking start doing comedy."
So you didn't relapse after that?
I didn't relapse. No, I'm still sober.
That's a big thing.
Yeah, still sober. Yeah,
because it is.
I was close.
Yeah, no, I understand. Because this is what I tell people, especially people that I work with. When I remember when I used to drink if I got a bad schedule. Like if I had 2 closes in a row, I'd be like, fuck this. Like when I got quote unquote, I went to rehab, I got sober. And then once I relapsed after that first year, I would use anything as an excuse to drink. Yeah. And I tell people this all the time. It's like going to the gym. Like when you first get there, you're not going to be strong. It's the same thing with sobriety. It's like, then when I got sober for real this last time, it was like I got a shitty schedule, but I didn't drink over it. And then something terrible would happen, and I wouldn't drink over it. And then, still to this day, I lose friends that I met in rehab or in the program or whatever because, people go back out, and sometimes they don't come back in. So then you lose a friend, but then you get through that sober. And then all of a sudden you look back on it, and you're like, holy shit, I got through like
You're getting all these notches.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like
all
you're
these
building
medals.
all this strength
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
So then when you're in a position where you're like, I really want to fucking drink, it's like, yeah, but why would I drink over this when I didn't drink over that? Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So for you, that's a huge thing to be able to walk off, be in that mindset of like, fuck me, no, fuck you.
Yeah.
Walk off and then be like, yeah, but I'm not going to drink over it.
No.
So that's awesome. Dude.
Yeah. Thank you.
And
It's
then
great,
you come to New York and then you get here and then how long did you have sober in England after?
I think it was just under a year.
Okay, so then you move back to the States.
So I moved back to the States. I'm in a Super 8 motel in Astoria.
I know that motel.
Yeah. And all right, first of all, big danger, right? I'm in a Super 8. Immediately you think cocaine and hookers, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, this is bad. I'm gonna drink. And I found this LGBTQ whatever AA meeting in the Astoria area, and I was like, it was the only one I could find. I walked in, and they're going around the circle, everyone's saying their pronouns, and I'm just like, oh, these guys hate me, but they were cool, and I had a meeting, so I went straight to a meeting because I thought I was going to drink.
That's smart.
And got over that road, and then that meeting saved my life. That was a moment. For sure.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So I didn't realize because when I invited you on the show, you because on stage we talk about all this stuff all the time, you and I, and a couple other comics. But I didn't realize that you actually had gone through all of this, like shit, to get to where you are now.
Oh yeah.
Because we like joke about it on stage, but you've never like you do open up about like going to rehab.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of comics who are like, yeah, I went to rehab 4 times. Then they get off stage and they go have a beer, and you're like, so wait, are you? Aren't you? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And I'm never one to judge. Like, if people want to drink, I'm like, yeah, fucking more power to you. But like we have a bar in the house. I don't touch it, but it's there in case we have guests or something. So it's like, so I didn't realize. Like, it's just hitting me now, like, after everything you talked about, that, like, you went through a fucking thing, man.
It's a pretty big thing. And you know what
This originally was like, oh, yeah, I'm having my buddy Kieran on. Now I'm like, this is like a top 10 episode, dude.
Thanks, dude. I find it really hard to make the really painful stuff funny.
Yeah.
Like, I've tried...
That's why I just built it a one-man show.
Yeah, exactly. So, I find like it's funny. I find it easier. I guess I'm not that skilled as a joke writer yet, but like just the dumb shit me and my brothers would joke around about, like the fucking male testosterone shit.
Like,
it's easier.
just like with the restaurant.
Yeah, I
like,
guess so. Yeah.
So let's, because we have a few more minutes, but I want to get, and you got to come back on. We still have Xanax in Prague. We've got, we got a lot of other shit we got to talk about.
Yeah, bro.
And I want to hear more about the 25K, but. For you get to New York. Why comedy?
I've always wanted to do comedy. I've always been kind of studying it from afar. Like I grew up. I guess the big ones for me, Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy, really fucking turned me on to it for sure.
Because we're around the same age, so we're a lot older than a lot of these young kids who come in and they're like, yeah, I watched it on like TikTok and I wanted to do it, and we're like, all right.
No, it was very much watching.
I was watching HBO specials and shit.
Yeah, Raw and Live at the Sunset Strip or whatever,
Delirious,
and then Burr was a huge influence for me.
Mm-hmm.
Watched all of Burr, listening to all his Monday morning podcasts, and kind of got into like the Rogan sphere, I guess, and listening to all those comics and. I just loved it. I loved it. I always thought I could, I just never had the balls to do. You know what it was? I couldn't die thinking to myself, I never had the balls to try it.
Yeah.
I don't care if I fucking fail.
It's the spite thing again.
I would rather die and fail than have never tried it.
100%.
100%.
So you moved back to New York because you work in a restaurant now.
So I'm still cooking. I work in a catering company in Long Island City, and they're very nice to me. They let me do like a 7 a.m. to like 2 p.m. shift, Monday to Friday. So I get out of work, I go do open mics, and
so So this is something that we'll end on this, but this is something I'm very interested in. Was that pivot? Did you do that on purpose to get out of the night game, to get out
Absolutely.
of the
100%, all by design.
Okay.
All by design.
So
and it literally manifested the whole thing. We said, I'm going to move to New York City. I'm going to get a day job, and I'm going to do comedy at night, and I'm just going to go fucking all in because I got nothing to lose. And literally, guys, you can do anything you fucking want in life if you just fucking believe in yourself.
That's the
and
clip.
that sounds cheesy. That sounds cheesy, right? But like, if you think that you can actually do it, put yourself in a situation where you're surrounded by the best people that you can get access to.
Yeah.
And fucking take a little skill from each of them, like you're Mega Man. And then that's how you get. That's what I did with cooking, and that's what I'm trying to do with comedy right now.
100%. You came to the right place. New York City's the best place for it.
Hey man, it's the best city in the world.
There is a great line from a movie. Miles Teller says the line. He plays a boxer. Gets in this huge car accident. They'll never tell him to box again. He ends up boxing again. And in the line, it's like on all the Instagram like inspo things, but the line is he's sitting with this reporter and she goes, what's one thing that you have learned was not real in life? And he says, it's not that easy. And she's like, what's not that easy? He goes, no, that's the biggest lie I was ever told. It's not that easy.
Right.
Because then you just do it and now you've done it and it's that easy.
Once you figure out the algorithm of like, how do I get good at something?
But that's the thing. Like you just moved here and you did it and now you're doing it. And it was just that easy.
It really isn't that complicated.
Yeah. So when people go, oh, well, it's not that easy. It's like, yes, it is. Just go do it. Do the thing.
It helps if you don't have any wife and kids and
That's
all
true,
that
yeah.
kind of shit. It helps if you have
you
zero
run away from your
responsibility and no priorities, pretty much.
Dude, this was an awesome episode. We're going to have you back on. Plug everything one more time. Tell
Been a
everybody where
pleasure.
they can find you.
Just follow me on Kieran_laughs on Instagram, on TikTok. Instagram's a big one, I guess, but you know.
Perfect.
That's it.
Thank you, everybody, so much for listening. At Brennan T Comedy on all social media, BrennanTComedy.com. Tour dates coming out soon with Matt Fulstron. I'll be featuring for the summer tour. So get your tickets on the website. I'll let you know when those drop, and we'll talk to y'all next week.
Boom.
Dude, that was awesome, man.
Thanks, man. That was fun.
Yeah.
I feel like we were in the zone for a bit there.
Fuck yeah, we were.